What is going on, everybody? Man, Micah's back with another video. Back here with my first impressions of the Galaxy Z Flip 4. Yes, in all of its non-red I can't even say it, bro. This is pretty interesting, and pretty much that's what I'm gonna lead off with, right? My first impressions of this is the surprise of how bad the color description was for this phone. Now, I think what would save this phone for me, of course, is the black frames that I opted for as opposed to the gold or the silver. So that way it does give you that reminiscent nostalgic feel of the Pixel 4/4 XL. That being said, I also don't like that they didn't basically let you know up front that it was going to be gloss over matte, because if it was glossy, then I would have already probably went for the white over this color, or I would have opted for one of the basic colors, primarily probably the granite or graphite gray or whatever. I definitely probably would have opted for that if I knew about the gloss and the fact that this wasn't going to be red. Now, full disclaim, I don't know why Samsung doesn't tell you any of this, so keep that in mind. I actually did thorough research way after the fact, and that's because I heard something in the wind that, you know, Samsung messed up with the colors, and then I was like, ah, man. So once I did that, then I started realizing, did I get the right color? I was debating between this and all white. I wanted to go panda like they had available with the Z Flip 3, where you could do black and white, but for some reason the graphite color wasn't available, and that's because of the glossy finish. This year they opted for gloss. Last year I think all of it was matted, or most of it was matted. This time it wasn't the case. You basically got better color selection with the basic over the bespoke, and for that reason, I am like, come on, man. Now, do I like rocking this phone still? Yes. It's just that this isn't the color I wanted. I definitely would have went with white on black or a matte finish color. So, first impression wise, in terms of the exterior, the design, from a color perspective, Samsung lost points for me from that perspective. The rest of the design, in terms of hardware, outside of color, phenomenal. It feels slimmer. It feels, you know, thinner in the hand when open, when using it, especially when you're watching stuff like this. It feels even more widescreen, and I haven't quite broken in the hinge yet, so closing it with one hand there's a little bit of rigidness to it, which is great. I'm not mad at it at all. It's just, you know, over time I think it'll get easier and easier and easier, and with cases like their, you know, silicone strap case or just cases period, it does make it easier to close the phone. I don't know if it's just additional pressure that's being applied. I don't know, I'm not a science whiz, but I would definitely say in terms of design, it does feel better. It does feel like the gap though has increased in between, you know, when it's closed like this. I don't pay attention to it all that much. I do notice I get a little bit more lint on my screen or display on the inside, but nothing to cause any alarm or fear. I also noticed that the screen protector looks even more fleshed in, and it feels even better on the screen, which is why I'm leaving it on this time, or at least for now. I couldn't wait to take it off on the Z Flip 5G and the Z Flip 3. This time I'm leaving it on, and it's also because they appropriately aligned it perfectly outside the camera hole as well, so it doesn't really get in the way when light is reflecting off of it as much. I don't notice it. So for those reasons, I'm gonna leave it on for now, but I might take it off later, because, you know, I love rocking my phone in its original state. So from a design standpoint, I love the fact that they're better. The cameras are better. You know, they've improved those as well. I've taken a couple pictures, and wow, I couldn't believe the quality I got out of these, you know, because they haven't outright upgraded the hardware of these. So hopefully they will next year. We know the Z Fold 4 got new cameras. They got the S22 Ultra cameras. So it's interesting that they wouldn't even put one or two of those in here. I don't know if it's a battery life situation or not, but I definitely like what I've been noticing and getting out of this. The cover screen as well has been a joy to use again. It's a true welcome home. As you guys know, I've been rocking the Ultra for this year. I've been enjoying the Ultra. I love how big it is, but then I also don't like how big it is at the same time. And the S Pen really makes up for a lot of that. And I love using it, especially when I'm creating thumbnails for videos and stuff like that. Busting out the S Pen and make sure I get my precision on has been a joy with the S22 Ultra, but it's nothing like having a phone that you forget is on you in the Z Flip 4. Do I want to try to Fold 4 out? Of course I do, but I'm definitely loving and digging the Z Flip 4, and I will not be leaving the series again. I did that. I risked it because I wanted to get a noteworthy experience with the S22 Ultra. Now that I've gotten that, I don't know why this knife is still open. I appreciate what Samsung has done with this form factor here with the Z Flip 4. What else have I noticed? What else has impressed me? What else? What you say? The vibration or the haptic motors in this are not as good as the Z Flip 3s or of course the S22 Ultra. Yes, the S22 Ultra, I don't know if it's because it maybe changed the orientation of the haptic motors to go horizontal as opposed to vertical, meaning it goes up into the display for the haptic feedback. I just noticed it feels a little bit more hollow with the Flip 4 than it did with the Flip 3 and S22 Ultra. And I love the S22 Ultra. I don't even have to have it turned up all the way. This one I have it almost turned up all the way, and then when I go even further, it just feels that much more hollow or, you know, just weak. And so I hope that that's something that they can tune with the software update. But the haptic motors on this aren't as good as the Z Flip 3s or the S22Us. That being said, since we're kind of cracking into the software, One UI 4.1.1 has been great on this phone as well. I noticed that whenever you kind of approach flex mode when operating the device, like me, I like having it open kind of like this. So as you guys see, it's kind of banana shaped. I like having it open like this because it makes it easier for my thumb to reach things without having me to go two-handed. So I could just, you know what I'm saying, like that. And if I need a little bit more, I'll push a little bit more further up to me. But as you do that, what will happen is you'll get a little flex icon at the bottom half of the screen asking if you want this app to use flex mode. And if you click on it and then go to the app and toggle it on, what will happen is everything will move to the top half, and then you have more controls at the bottom, such as touchpad, notification pull down with a button, volume, stuff like that. Maybe play pause depending on if you're in a media app or not. But I like that ingenuity or that intuition, if you will, with the Flip 4 and One UI 4.1.1. It knows when you want to use, or at least it asks you. Now, if you toggle it on and then you don't want it no more, you do have to go back to those flex settings and turn it back off. So I learned my lesson there, but it is still nice. Again, with YouTube, if you go on to YouTube, you see listening controls on the video. When you tap on a video, you can click on that and then it brings up a lower half on the lower half, your controls for, you know, play, pause, skip, reverse, all that type of stuff. So again, Google has been doing a relatively good job with their apps implementing the flex nature, because it's not just this phone, it is also the Fold series that they have to worry about. So shout out to Google there on the software side. And it's just been like really small, subtle things, nothing like crazy new, because now that I've experienced One UI 5 through the beta program on the S22 Ultra, there really isn't much that's changed between 4.1 and 4.1.1. A lot of it's just been either Android 12L features for the tablets and for the Fold 4 with that taskbar, which is dope, or just improvements, slightly more controls over, you know, maybe biometrics and security or something like that. But there really hasn't been too much major. It's really been more of an update for the bigger sized devices that Samsung is running. So I will say it's been very clean, it's been very fluid. I like what's going on with this phone. I have no problems with this phone. It's just that one it's just the haptic motor that's really getting me, and the color, really. You do notice the lack of the telephoto lens, because when you do want to zoom in on something, you can't. So you kind of have to pinch in the zoom, and then of course you get your immediate loss in quality. Not crazy, but enough. I saw a very nice car from afar, and I was gonna use a telephoto lens, and I forgot it doesn't have one. So I mean, they do have space for it on the back if they really wanted to bring it in. They also have space to increase the cover screen. So if they wanted to do both of those things, maybe we'll see that with the Z Flip 5 or 6. But overall, I'm back to enjoying this phone for what it is. The speakers are very nice on this as well. You feel the bass in this. So on one hand, the haptic motors provides weak or hollow feel, but the sound and the bass within the speakers, tuned by AKG, as they always like to say, with Dolby Atmos turned on, of course, you get some very good quality sound out of this device. Yes, between the Z Flip 3 and the Z Flip 4, it really is a very incremental update. Nothing super major, and slightly improved cameras, improved hinge and probably display, right? And thinned out phone, cutting out whatever they could while still increasing the battery life on this. It is like a $100 to $200, upgrade. It's not a full new phone upgrade. So I'm glad that they continue their very good pre-order trade-in deals. I think you can still get great trade-in value even now after the pre-order. Upwards of like $700, $800 for the S22 Ultra if you want to trade that in for this. So it is good to see that Samsung is honoring that side of the finances when it comes to grabbing their new devices, and hopefully that just continues on, period. I will say again, aesthetic wise, great box, floss. Great box, but misleading because of the colors. This darker green right here, as you see, they call that khaki, when really khaki is the yellow color. But they call that dark green khaki instead of just calling it forest green or dark green or muddy green. They call it khaki. No, white is white. That navy blue is navy blue. This red is most definitely not red. I just don't know what they're doing with the color thing. That's what's really bothering me, because unless somebody can help me out in the comments, I don't think you could just and get, swap out the colors, right? It would be nice. I do have the 256 gig version because of the free upgrade. I would love to be able to switch out the color to the white on white with the black frames, but I think I'd have to return it and all that type of stuff. So it's like, I'll just keep it and either rock a case, which I most likely won't do, even though I will say this silicone case feels very, very thin. Like, I am very close to wanting to rock it. I don't care for the strap piece. Funny enough, I don't care for the strap piece, but this is a very, very clean case from them. And then Rinky has cases, of course, that are very solid. And then skins. D-Brand has a dope skin, the collaboration with MKBHD with the little icons. They have a red skin that you could put just on the front half. You don't have to do the full front half. You can just do this solid piece here and then the whole back. So I'm tempted to try that out as well, just to get what I thought I was supposed to get, which was red. Hopefully they get that right next year. But let me know down in the comment section below if you guys have been trying this device out. What do you guys think about it? Do you think that the battery upgrade is enough? I've been getting very great battery life, as I was with the Z Flip 3. I never had a problem with the Z Flip 3 battery life. I don't have a problem with the Z Flip 4, and I use this phone often. I work for FedEx as of the recording of this video. This device is running while I'm out listening to music, listening to YouTube, while I'm out on route, using Bluetooth to stream the music to my Galaxy Buds Plus. So for a solid 4 to 6 hours, it's just running. Now, not a lot of video, but it is still being used nonetheless. You got the home screen of the software running in the background as well, taking up some battery life. I think TikTok sucks some battery up in the background. So I haven't had no problem with the battery. I probably have showed you guys the stats on this guy, and stats are fine. Stats are solid. There's days where I get a lot of screen on time. There's days that I don't, but I still have great standby time, meaning this phone is there when I need it. That's how I judge battery life. I don't judge it by screen on time, because that's dumb. You're not literally looking at your screen for that amount of time consistently. It's open it, check some things out, close it, or screen off, go do your thing, come back, look at it. the phone is in when you need it within the day, you got great battery life, or at least good battery life. I would say like phenomenal, fantastic battery life is probably once you start hitting 1.5, 2 days before having to put it on the charger. And there's not too many phones that have that kind of battery life, unless it's a phone that you don't use on the regular. Like I don't use my S22 Ultra anymore on the regular. This is in the background now, and this phone would last like 2 days with no problem. So that would be considered, you know, fantastic battery life because of the standby time and how software isn't draining a battery. So with the Flip 4, I would say it's got very good, great battery life, lasts through the day, no problems. And let me know if that's worth it to you guys. Let me know about the colors. Are you picky? Or are you concerned about the colors? Are you cautious now when it comes to electing a color that you want from Samsung? Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about the Flip 4 and the Fold 4 for that matter, and your take on flips and foldable devices. But your man Micah is signing out to the next video. Wait, oh.